Have you never met a man before? What about your father?
I had no father. I was brought to life by Zeus.
Well, that's neat.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So we got some new footage. We learned a little bit about the villain of the movie, Ares, even though we haven't seen him, at least as we know, in the footage so far. There is a new round of the Flash Ring giveaway going on. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. Previous winners are announced at the end. Be sure to click that bell to enable alerts so that you don't miss anything. So we got new footage. The actors are talking about the film. There are really like 5 big takeaways. And it's all about Wonder Woman's origin story and how that feeds into her ongoing conflict with her main villain, Ares. So number 5, her origin story is kind of a mess when you go like way back in the comics. It's kind of the same problem you have with a lot of comic book characters. That's why, they're having Rebirth right now. They're sort of reimagining the characters, weaving all that continuity together in a really understandable, simple way. In the original version of Wonder Woman's origin story, she was created from a lump of clay by Hippolyta, her mother, and then given life by the goddess Athena. So each of the Greek gods bestowed upon her their powers. So she was like this amalgam creation, like a golem that was created by them, but then later incarnations made her the daughter of Zeus. So it seems like what the movie has done has sort of combined those two things in a really simple way, where she says she has no father, she was created by Zeus. So she's not like the other Amazons, even though she is an Amazon. That's why they're all badasses, so you could consider them metahumans, but technically they're not metahumans. This is where you get into a lot of Greek and Roman mythology, trying to weave that in with traditional DC Comics metahumans, people with powers. But she is like a step above the other Amazons. So number 4, learning the truth of things. So in almost every version of her origin story, she runs into Steve Trevor, who is sort of like the entry into the real world for her, where she learns what's really going on. Like, she's been isolated on this island. In the context of the movie, the Amazons have sort of bailed on humanity, but she's only been around for part of their history. There's this whole implied history that goes way back further beyond that explains why the Amazons bailed on humanity and how they rebelled against Zeus, why he's not around, and why Ares is such a villain. So number 3, Ares has typically been her main villain. He's the god of war. He tries to create chaos. He hates humanity, wants them to die, so tries to find creative ways to make that happen. During the New 52 comics, he even became her advisor, sort of trying to co-opt her. So like I said, trying to learn the truth of things, Wonder Woman wants to learn the truth about what really happened, what's really going on with Ares, and why the Amazons have the wrong idea and should not have bailed on humanity. The thing about Ares, though, is that in the context of the DC Extended Universe, it's set in the real world. The Man of Steel movie was meant to be an example of what would happen if an alien with the powers of a god came to Earth. How would people react to that? In the context of the Wonder Woman movie, they have to find a really practical way to weave in all this Greek mythology. So what would a god look like in the DC Extended Universe? He would probably just look like a normal person most of the time. But even in the comics, Ares can change form. He can appear as an old man, he can appear as a young man, he can also show up in full battle armor and change size, just become this big hulking brute, somebody that looks like they could take on Wonder Woman instead of just a normal person. But for the most part, the way they're presenting the Wonder Woman movie is that he's mostly acting behind the scenes, pulling strings, trying to orchestrate chaos and the downfall of humanity through World War I in this weird gas that they're playing with. So Dr. Poison seems like somebody who might be working with Ares. We don't know if he's actually Danny Huston in disguise. Danny Huston is just like a great character for playing villains. So if we've actually already seen Ares in the trailers before and just not realized it, he would be the leading candidate. But they haven't confirmed anything. And number two, backstory of how Ares came to power. He's a very powerful god, but Zeus is more powerful. You'd have to get rid of Odin before Loki could take over in the Thor movies. So how do you get rid of Zeus? So in the context of what the actors have been saying, in this version of events, the Amazons and Ares revolted against Zeus and killed him. So Zeus is either dead or gone, basically sidelined, not present in the movie. Technically you can't really kill a god, so there was actually a comic book during the New 52 that tried to address that problem. But however they handle it in the movie, Zeus is not around and Ares is left to run amok. The reason for the revolt is that Ares was jealous of man because Zeus favored them more, which sounds very in keeping with Greek tragedy. So that led to a revolt in the ancient history of the Amazons. So a big part of the movie is Wonder Woman trying to learn the truth of things, taking the side of man over the Amazons and going against Ares. Because she's of these people, so the Amazons have this way of life. They've taught her to believe certain things. But then Steve Trevor comes, he says, "You've never met a man." So there's just like so many things that she's questioning in the movie. So she tries to find her own truth and stop the world from blowing itself apart, which sets her against Ares. But number one, what does this say about her fight with Ares going forward in movies? Because Superman fought Zod in the first Man of Steel movie, he killed him at the end, so that was a really big deal, very controversial, but Zod is technically one of Superman's biggest villains. Like Brainiac is another one of Superman's biggest villains. Superman just has a lot more villains in his rogues gallery. There have been fewer Wonder Woman comics, so fewer Wonder Woman villains of that caliber that you would consider really good picks for a movie. So what they might do in future movies is just allow Ares to slink away so that he can continue to trouble her if they do more Wonder Woman sequels. They're probably going to wait till the Wonder Woman movie comes out to decide what the future of that character in spin-off movies is going to be. Are they going to do Wonder Woman 2? Is she just going to be a Justice League character? Think about what they did with the Captain America character. Somebody that was pulled out of time, like Wonder Woman is an ancient character reflecting on how she got to this point. Most of the movie takes place in the past, but then they jump forward to the Justice League period, just like Captain America took place during World War II, then he was thrust into modern day in the continuity of the new Avengers films. So that's probably what they would do with Wonder Woman sequels. They would all be set in present day with present day villains. So even in present day, the gods are still very much a problem for humanity, so there's plenty of people that they could pull for Wonder Woman to fight, but I think it just depends on where they leave the character at the end of the Wonder Woman movie, at the end of Justice League. The way the producers have been talking about her is that she'll actually be fully actualized by the time we get to Justice League. If you've ever read Superman Red Son, it's like a what-if story. What if his pod had crashed in the Soviet Union? And it just shows you that he is very prone to influence of the people that he grows up with. So Wonder Woman's just trying to break free of the influence of the only people that she's ever known, fed this dogma. So let me know what you guys are most hype about, Wonder Woman versus Ares. Do you actually think that we'll see him in his full Greek armor? Do you think that we'll even see him in the movie at all, even if he's acting through other agents like Dr. Poison here? Really good news too, they just confirmed the Green Lantern Corps movie is coming. It's going to be like Lethal Weapon in space, so I'll do a Justice League Green Lantern video soon. There's a whole bunch of other comic book news, so we'll say congratulations to this week's Flash Ring giveaway winner, Revelation. Please private message me on the back end of my channel so I can get your contact details. There was a new round that started in this video. I'll just announce the winner the next time I post a DC video. While you guys wait for that to post, you can click here for my top 50 characters that are going to be in Infinity War, and you can click here to learn all about my predictions for the back half of The Flash this season. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.